on behalf of our youths, children, and those who look for hope for a brighter, peaceful, and prosperous Sierra Leone. My fellow Sierra Leoneans, I come to you with a message of hope for our beloved country, Sierra Leone, the green, the white, and the blue. As some of you may know by now, earlier today, I released a video endorsing Dr. Samura Kamara and the APC for the 2023 elections. The choice was not easy, but as we say, we are between the devil and the deep blue sea. But before I continue this presentation, I want to categorically state that I'm not a registered member of the APC, nor do I intend to become a member of that party. Also, I'm not in contact with any member of the APC party that influenced my decision at this time to endorse the APC party and Dr. Samura Kamara. I am an independent candidate with a strong support for the NGC party. That is, let me clarify, the NGC party, not represented by Dr. Kande Yumkela. Time permitting, I may address the political suicide committed by Dr. Kande Yumkela. See, President Bio, the presidency is a relay and not a sprint or 100-meter dash to determine a winner. We don't elect presidents to win. We elect our presidents to serve Sierra Leone. As president, Dr. Andes Koma handed the baton to you to run the next leg of leadership for Sierra Leone, and that leg is for 5 years. If you do well, the people of Sierra Leone would elect you to run one more lap before you hand it over to the elected president to continue this relay. As president, you run this lap of Sierra Leone not against Sierra Leoneans who are your opposition. The lap you run against other countries of the world, especially our neighbors, Liberia, Guinea, Ghana, Gambia, Nigeria. President Bio, you ran a very poor lap, causing us to fall behind our competitors globally, especially our neighboring countries, Guinea, Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria. For this reason, I am asking you to hand the baton to Dr. Samura Kamara, who has fresh legs to catch up with our competitors, especially our neighboring countries. But let me take this opportunity to thank you for running one lap for Sierra Leone and to thank you for your service to Sierra Leone. But at this time, I say thanks, but no thanks for a second lap. My choice for not supporting you to run a second term is simply based on the facts available to all sincere, open-minded, God-fearing, peace-loving patriots of Sierra Leone, of our beloved country. And that is the true state of our nation. So the question that I'm going to answer today, and many of you would subscribe to, is what is the true state of our nation? For me, the state of our nation is somber. The state of our nation is disaster waiting to happen. The state of our nation is death by poverty. The state of our nation is an ill-equipped health system. The state of our nation is corruption. The state of our nation is a mediocre educational system. The state of our nation is high illiteracy. The state of our nation is the highest unemployment in the history of Sierra Leone. The state of our nation is economic disaster. The state of our nation is high infant mortality rate. The state of our nation is economic failure. The state of our nation is insecurity and violence. The state of our nation is high gender-based violence. The state of our nation is economic mismanagement. The state of our nation is national unhappiness. The state of our nation is kush, prostitution, and tramadol. The state of our nation is intimidation, fear, and violence. The state of our nation is tribalism. The state of our nation is regionalism. The state of our nation is lack of basic needs and essential commodities. I could go on and on. My fellow Sierra Leoneans, with the state of our nation in darkness, the deep abyss and abject failure, I ask you this question: why should we re-elect President Bio and the SLPP a second time? My fellow Sierra Leoneans, we have lost our soul, our mojo, our identity, and our niche. Sometimes, I don't even recognize my own country I love so well: the green, the white, and the blue. It pains me to see us accept mediocrity instead of excellence. Why? Sierra Leoneans, why? Why do we always want to settle for less? So many will ask, why do you endorse Dr. Samura, Kamara, and the APC? The answer is simple. The SLPP and President Bio, with all the resources in their possession, the manpower, and the power legislatively to affect change, have failed intentionally or by omission to fix the state of the nation. Over the last 5 years, this government has failed the innocent children, youths, men and women of Sierra Leone. You see, Sierra Leone is like a lorry going downhill without brakes. We know it is going to crash, but we don't know the extent of the damage at the crash site. So the question is, how many Sierra Leoneans should die if we allow this crash to happen? My fellow Sierra Leoneans, my decision to endorse is not so much for the known and unknown that Dr. Samura Kamara will bring to rescue the nation, but the change we need to stop the lorry from crashing and find a way to fix this lorry to drive it to the next destination. Using this metaphor, this will give us the opportunity to give proper instruction to the new lorry driver, Dr. Samura Kamara, and to plan and do thorough maintenance. My fellow Sierra Leoneans, as the saying goes, we cannot teach old dog new tricks. Therefore, endorsing President Bio and the SLPP government is validating malaise, stress, insecurity, unemployment, a kush-addicted youth nation, deteriorating health condition, environmental degradation, and overall unhappiness that reverberates across our country. Tell me, give me a reason why with re-election, President Bio would improve the state of the nation. There is no reason. He would never be re-elected anymore. But the election will endorse the darkness of our nation, and therefore he would see no need for a change. So my fellow Sierra Leoneans, I ask you some simple questions. Do you want to stay unhappy for 5 years? Do you want to buy petrol 50 leones a liter by 2028? Do you want to buy a bag of rice, 1 million, by December of this year, 2023? and probably 3.5 or 4 million by 2028. Do you want to see the dollar trade against the leones 3 million by December of 2023 and probably 6 million by 2028? Are you willing to see more youths die from kush and other forms of violence, and see pregnant women die at childbirth and children dying at an alarming rate? Do you want to see kush as our national pastime for youths in Sierra Leone? Do you want to see young girls and women go into prostitution as their primary occupation? Do you want to continue with the watered down and mediocre version of educational system that makes us less competitive once we leave Sierra Leone? Do you want to continue to feel insecure, unhappy, and be in a state of permanent intimidation until 2028? If your answer is yes to any or all of the above questions, vote for President Bio for a second time. But since my answer is no to all the questions listed above, I endorse Dr. Samura, Kamara, and the APC. Sierra Leoneans, let us wake up. If you truly love Sierra Leone, we cannot allow 5 more years of unhappiness, insecurity, malaise, corruption, and inefficient government. Sierra Leoneans, we need to wake up from hypnosis of failed politicians to save our nation. See, failed politicians have used tribalism, regionalism, politics, and even religion to divide us. Sierra Leoneans, we are one nation. Let no politician convince you that you are red or gray, southeastern or northwestern, north or south, or Christian or Muslim. I proudly stand here today with only one identity. I am a Sierra Leonean. Collectively, let us search and find the soul of Sierra Leone and rebuild what was once the Athens of Africa to the America of Africa. I know we can do it because we are Sierra Leoneans. But the path we are on now is the dark path of hopelessness, with dark and stormy clouds hanging over us, spelling the imminent doom of Sierra Leone. Collectively, let us join Dr. Samura, Kamara, and the APC to reset the hands of the clock of Sierra Leone and change the trajectory from hopelessness to hope for all, where the H in hope is for your health, the O for your opportunities, the P for your possibilities, and the E for empowerment for all. Some may ask, is Dr. Kamara any better than President Bio, with his history and his relationship with past President Ernest Koroma? Others may say, the APC is very disorganized going into the election. And others may ask, how prepared is the APC to steer the Sierra Leone lorry from doom and gloom? First, let me address the Dr. Samura question. For me, Dr. Samura Kamara is a better candidate because he has not had the opportunity to rule as the leader and as the head of state. However, we all know in the APC government, it was a part of the corrupt government that I, as one, endorsed the SLPP to kick out of office and to elect President Bio. But there are 3 reasons why I think and believe that Dr. Samura would give his utmost best to Sierra Leone at this time. 1, we are all keeping our eyes on him. So the sword of Damocles hanging over his head. I know Dr. Samura is determined to reset Sierra Leone and show that he can lead. 2, he lost to President Bio in 2018. And I could tell you, if you've lost something in your life to someone, losing has a way of humbling and shaping people's destiny. 3, Dr. Samura has had 5 years to lick his wounds, reflect on his past, and adjust to help search and find the soul of Sierra Leone. For these reasons mentioned, if given the opportunity, I am convinced and confident that Dr. Samura Kamara would do a better job. Now let me address the Ernest Koroma aspect that is tagged on to Dr. Samura Kamara. After suffering defeat because of Ernest Koroma and the chaos caused by Dr. Ernest Koroma in the APC party, Dr. Samura Kamara would be foolish to encourage and allow Dr. Ernest Koroma to control or dominate an APC-led government. Next, let me address the APC chaos and the perceived disorganization. If you are from a perfect family, raise your hand. Let me say that again. If you are from a perfect family, raise your hand. We are all in some state of family disorganization, but we each find ways to make our own identity and immediate family work for us and strong. As I speak with you, I can categorically state that my extended family organizational structure is not perfect, but I'm doing fine as an individual, and I strive to take care of my immediate family. I make this analogy to you that if you think the APC is disorganized, wait until they win and see how they unify. Winning has a way of solving all problems. As I wrap up my presentation, let me again reiterate my historic perspective of election endorsement in 2018. In 2018, I was a strong and vocal supporter of NGC. I vehemently opposed Dr. Samura Kamara and the APC because of the corruption and the role Dr. Ernest Koroma played in Sierra Leone politics. How ironic that 5 years later, I am endorsing the same ticket. Well, you know there's something called buyer's remorse. I bought something I did not like, therefore I have to reset and to help search the soul of Sierra Leone. I know that some of you will recall, if not, please search my YouTube, as Ms. Cole stated, to find me appealing to the NGC party and Dr. Yumkela to make an alliance with SLPP to vote out APC. Yet another irony for me, present day today. However, Dr. Yumkela, the biggest disappointment in Sierra Leone's political history, was a coward then to align with the SLPP party in 2018, and a coward now out of selfish, egoistic, and personal gains to do what he should have done in 2018. Dr. Yumkela had the opportunity to claim that he helped elect President Bio, the president of Sierra Leone. Dr. Yumkela, wake up and smell the Sierra Leone stench and realize that you cannot make a difference in the election of President Bio. The NGC and Dr. Yumkela did not listen to us, but President Bio won. We were all excited. As someone who endorsed President Bio in 2028, and let me repeat that, as someone who endorsed President Bio in 2018, correct, I now have the right to take my endorsement to Dr. Samura Kamara for President Bio's failure to address the basic needs of the Sierra Leone people, children, youths, and females of Sierra Leone. My fellow Sierra Leoneans, our task in 2023 is a very simple one. Let's change the driver of the lorry so we don't crash. As Sierra Leoneans, the only way we can thank President Bio for his service to Sierra Leone and yet hold him accountable for the unhappiness of Sierra Leoneans is not through threats, violence, or mamikos or retribution, but to simply vote him out of office with the slogan, thanks, but no thanks for a second term. So President Bio, I say to you, thank you for your service, but no thanks for a second term in office. The youths of Sierra Leone are suffering. Our children are deprived. Our female youths are exploited. Men and women, parents struggle to put a piece of bread on the table for their children. So we must act and act as a nation, not for our selfish needs, but for our collective needs. To you, Dr. Samura Kamara, when you win, let me make it clear to you, my endorsement means I now have the largest megaphone to advocate for youths, children, and the marginalized people of Sierra Leone, especially female youths of Sierra Leone, and to question your every move. The youths of Sierra Leone are stressed with unemployment issues, poor health, filthy environment, a mediocre education, cultural deterioration, economic deterioration, corruption, kush, gender-based violence, prostitution, tribalism, regionalism, and overall unhappiness. And your task, Dr. Samura Kamara, is to fix it. And to fix it with no excuse. So as Nike says, just do it. Sierra Leoneans, the SLPP government under President Bio had the opportunity to fix it, but failed to do so. We need to heal the souls of Sierra Leoneans and lay the foundation to build the America of Africa with trust, transparency, meritocracy, and hope with a plan. In closing, I want to address the NGC issue. NGC party. I will call upon the Bible here, and I will quote Psalm 46, verse 10, which states, "Be still and know that I am God." NGC, know that there is a God. Know that in your hearts of hearts that Dr. Keller committed political suicide. He is now a political ghost who allowed President Bio to play him. But I want to give President Bio credit for tactfully or tactically diffusing his most formidable opponent in 2023. See, Dr. Keller, a special message to you. President Bio realized that APC and Dr. Samura may not pose a strong opposition to his second term bid. After all, he had defeated Dr. Samura twice. He knew his strongest opponent was Dr. Keller. The NGC would have received between 10 to 15% of the vote, which would have forced a runoff election. President Bio was tactical. He tactically eliminated first the runoff with the bait and switch technique to entice the greedy, egoistic, and self-centered Keller, who not only fell for the bait, but ate the political poison. Dr. Keller, you would have made a better deal with an alliance and with dignity as a statesman during the runoff and be the presidential matchmaker. But you failed and you fell for the trap. To my fellow NGC members, now that Dr. Keller has committed the ultimate sin of political suicide, some of us are waiting for the burial to join you in your struggle. When you finally bury and exorcise the ghost of Dr. Keller from NGC, then the NGC would rise from its ashes like Phoenix to be the strongest political force in Sierra Leone. To all NGC members, don't give up. I know you will rise and rise strong. So I leave you with the words of the African American National Anthem, which reads, "Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise, high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past path has taught us. Sing a song full of hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won." God bless you all, and God bless our beautiful Sierra Leone. Thank you.